The country will recognize Juneteenth Day on Monday, but here in Green Bay, the holiday will be celebrated on Saturday with the 4th annual Juneteenth celebration in Joannes Park from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, Juneteenth recognizes June 19th. That's the day nearly 250,000 slaves were emancipated in Texas in 1865. That was 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. Juneteenth became a federal holiday just 2 years ago in 2021. And to learn more about Saturday's events and what it supports, what it represents, we're joined by Dejanay Williams. She works with Black Lives United and is one of the organizers for Saturday. So, 4th annual, how will it differ from the previous 3?
Well, every year we get feedback from the attendees, the vendors, people a part of the event. So we kind of analyze what we did in the previous years and how we can make it better. I feel like this year will be better because we have a lot of sponsors coming.
You do.
I don't want to name them all right now because I want it to be a surprise, but we have a lot of big companies that a lot of people will be aware of coming to the event. It'll be bigger and better because we have the Packer alumni coming.
Yeah.
They're going to be doing some football drills. We have Dave and Buster's coming. They're going to be sponsoring their games. They're actually going to be saying they're volunteering for the kids, so that's going to be really nice.
Yeah.
We have our community meal. We have a lot of performers this year, local, and we actually reached out to another talent that I want to not announce yet because it's going to be really nice, but it's going to consist of African dancing, poetry, drumming, so we want a lot of people to come from the audience onto the stage and participate.
Oh, very cool.
In the drumming and the dancing and learn a little bit about our culture. I really think it's going to be better, more unified this year, more education and knowledge about Juneteenth.
All right, let me ask you about that because, first of all, you mentioned vendors. I think you have 60, so talk about bigger and better. You got a lot of people coming to this thing.
Yes.
So the event is 6 hours long, and what you just mentioned there about educating people. So let me ask you, is it 6 hours to celebrate? Is it 6 hours to educate? Or is it 6 hours to introduce people to the work that is being done and the programs that are available through We All Rise and Black Lives United?
It's actually a mixture of all of the above.
Okay, I kind of figured that was the case.
Yeah. So in the beginning, we'll have announcements and acknowledgments, and then we will pass it on to our special guest, who would give a introduction about Juneteenth in his own special words. After that, we will start the kid activities about 11 a.m., 11:15-ish. We'll start kid activities like face painting, playing with bubbles, potato sack races, things like that. Somewhere along the line before we get to the community meal, we will go on the stage and we'll give a little trivia education about Juneteenth. We'll play games to interact. That way it's not like we're reading off a PowerPoint or a lecture.
Right.
We want to keep the crowd awake. So we'll have a little break of moment when we do a little bit of trivia, and then we'll go back to playing music. Everyone will start eating. Then we'll start up competitions and tournaments again for cash and have performances, and then we'll get back to trivia again. So all throughout we're doing games, we're doing trivia, education, we're doing songs with lyrics that represent
Really
Juneteenth
interactive
in our
stuff,
culture.
right.
Exactly, a lot of engagement.
So I mentioned earlier that this became a federal holiday just 2 years ago. What has that meant in terms of awareness of your organizations and what you do? Or do the organizations bring more awareness to the holiday and these celebrations? How does that relationship work, you think?
I feel like it brings more, awareness to the celebration, the holiday itself, especially for people that weren't aware of Juneteenth,
Right.
that didn't know that it was our actual Freedom and Independence Day. I've, in the community, got a lot of questions from my coworkers about, oh, Juneteenth is popping up on my calendar now. What
I
is
got a
it?
day off, but what's it for, right?
Exactly. So I love to educate and tell them what the holiday is for. As far as our organization, I feel like we're still doing what we've been doing the past 4 years.
Yeah.
We're still celebrating in our community. I'm seeing a lot of other different cities, like in Appleton, Oshkosh, celebrate it as well and do their own Juneteenth. Milwaukee's been doing it for years.
Right.
So I feel like now a lot of people are getting into like the festival spirit and throwing things in their local city now that it's a federal holiday.
Right.
So I like that. I love that.
All right, so let me ask you, this may seem like an obvious question, but is the celebration just for African Americans?
It is our Independence and Freedom Day. However, we would love for other cultures, other races, other ages to come and experience this.
Yeah.
Let us tell you from our mouths what it is. interact with us.
Right.
You know, I feel like the best way to learn is hands-on experience or seeing it for
Goes
yourself.
back to that education thing we were talking about earlier, right?
Exactly. I don't discourage people of different races or color to come out. We actually want you to.
Sure.
We want to boost the Black economy here, and that's why we have a list of 60+ vendors.
Yeah.
I want people to come shop, come visit, come eat different foods, celebrate with us, learn what we're about. So, I mean, yes, it's our Independence Day, but we don't discourage other people from coming and celebrating with us. We're always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for people just to come and chatter and have fun with us. Like I said, there's going to be a dunk tank. If people want to come out, it's going to be a hot day. Go ahead and get in there. But honestly, I just want people to come learn and celebrate and get to know us here in Green Bay. Green Bay has a small population of African Americans here. So I love to see a lot of us come on this day and unify. It's such a beautiful moment in my eyes, and it's even better when we have different ages and different races involved too. It's a beautiful outcome every year.
Terrific. Dejanay, thanks so much for the time.
Thanks for having me.